Last Credit here doing something different and new. I don't know. So we pretty much,
we're doing a pathetic Q&A.
Questions that we came up for ourselves.
But yeah, if you guys won't ask them, we'll ask them ourselves.
But yeah, we pretty much wanted to get together. We're past 100 subscribers now, and we're happy about that. But we also just wanted to get together. And by the way,
I want 99 subscribers.
Oh my gosh! By the way, I'm Darren Lynch Jr. Also on the call is Dylan Boyd. Dylan, how you doing?
Well. Today kind of started out okay.
We're also on the phone with Miller Farrow, and we're also on the phone with Will Abbott, and they're founding members of
Bill Babbitt.
Will Abbott. We're the founding members of Til The Last.
Bill Babbitt.
Shut the fuck up. You really think you were that funny?
We're the founding members of Til The Last Credit, and we pretty much all wanted to get together and this was Will's idea, to pretty much, reveal a little bit more about ourselves, have you guys get to know us a little bit better, and, and just, sit around and, talk about shit. But,
just imagine there's a campfire around.
Yeah, just imagine there's a theoretical
in the middle
campfire, and we're all stuck in the woods, and maybe there's a witch out there, and we're all losing our fucking minds.
The Witchlet experiment.
But yeah, so yeah, we're just going to get into this. How this is going to go, the four of us are just going to ask each other questions, go around in a circle, around the theoretical campfire. Maybe I should, put a campfire as the background. That could work. But,
yes.
Yeah, but we'll go around the theoretical campfire, asking each other...
CAMPFIRESONG song.
Are you on drugs?
You would think.
Hopefully not, but but yeah, we're just gonna go around swapping stories about different movie stuff, life stuff, just mostly movie stuff. But yeah, so we're just gonna go around swapping questions. So I'm going to throw it over to Will. Will, do you want Dylan to go first? Will, do you want Dylan to go first? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it over to Will. This was his idea, so Will, go ahead.
All right, so what was the first movie that everybody...
Before... sorry to interrupt you, Will. I just have to make sure of something. So is the question for all three of us, not us individually?
Yeah, we're all four of us. I'll ask the question, I'll tell you my answer, and then we'll all take turns, telling the...
I think we could be able to do it where we just... Okay, I'll go better.
Okay, so Will, what's your question?
You're like my mother trying to yell at me or my brother or one of my siblings. Go through every name in the book before you get the right one.
Just quickly, my mom has it even harder. My family in general has it even hard because all three of my brothers are Daniel, David, and Daniel, David, and Darren. So why
don't you just give out your social security number, Darren? Damn.
But yeah, so it's very hard when my mom gets mad at any of us. She's just like, Daniel, whatever. So yeah, but yeah, what's your first question?
So what was the first movie that everybody remembers seeing in a movie theater? For me,
Scorpion.
It's now your turn. For me, the first movie I ever remember seeing in the movie theater was He-Man and She-Ra, The Secret of the Sword. I was 5 years old, and my mom took me and my cousin. And I don't remember a lot of the movie, the details and stuff, but I remember going, and so yeah, that was my first theatrical movie experience, and it was magic, and I've been in love with going to the movies ever since then. So
I'm going to say Scorpion
Miller?
King, not the last Scorpion.
I'm not sure if this is it, but I'm going to go with Like Mike.
Okay.
I thought you were going to elaborate.
With Lil Bow Wow?
Yeah. And wasn't the kid from...
Lil Bow Wow for Fast and Furious 9.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, Jonathan Lipnick, he was in it, too. Yeah, I remember... I don't know, because I know Spider-Man came out around that time, which I think I saw Spider-Man, but I remember seeing Like Mike, and I'm pretty sure that was the... Or I don't know if that was the first one I saw in the theater, but at least the first one I have recollection of.
Okay.
Yeah, mine. I have an inkling of seeing Tarzan in a theater, but I'm not sure if that's true. So I'm gonna go with The Grinch Stole Christmas, 2001. Jim Carrey. That movie. That was great. And that movie theater. That movie theater was That movie theater is now a church, which is odd, but like, yeah, I really like going to that movie theater, and it was nice just seeing that for the first time with my mom, and it was nice just being like, oh, it's on the big screen, and I love The Grinch growing up, so, and I love Jim Carrey growing up too, so I really, that was a great
When The
experience.
Grinch came out, when I first saw The Grinch, I was in the Army.
A theater near me plays The Grinch in a theater every year.
Okay, so
Well,
Dylan,
I
you
guess by
were
default,
about-
I guess by default it's my turn now, since I have to go
Shut up.
last. My first movie was The Scorpion King with The Rock. I was
I'm sorry.
like a year old.
It wasn't even
I don't remember.
one of the mummies. It was the Scorpion King.
I
You
don't
were a
even
year
remember
old.
it,
How do
so-
you even remember that?
I don't remember it. I just know it's the first movie I saw in the theater.
What's the first one
Jesus
you remember
Christ.
seeing?
Yeah,
I have no
said
fucking idea. I have no earthly...
I mean, he
I
answered
have
the
no
question.
idea.
He answered the
None.
question
I
well.
guess you answered the question, but okay, well that was nice, I guess. But Dylan, so what was your thing that you wanted to go with first?
Well, now, it's kind of gone now, because you guys probably wouldn't find it funny now, but,
Just ask it.
yeah, because, I mean, it's pointless now. You guys are just going to think it's unfunny, so I'm not even going to ask it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but when we roast you afterwards, that will be funny.
Yeah, what is it?
Thinking.
Darren, go.
Okay, what is the worst movie snack? The worst snack that you could
Worst-
ever bring to a movie theater, and for
Any
mine,
snack, because snacks don't belong in
you're
movies.
so fucking odd. But like, we're gonna get to that later. But like, mine is watermelon. Mine's watermelon.
Damn.
Who the fuck brings watermelon to a movie?
You've never seen that shit, exactly. People
I
people
know.
are
fucking
fucking.
stereotypes, Darren.
No.
Darren,
People,
I think we should limit this question to stuff they actually sell at the theater.
No. People are fucking brung that shit. But sure, we can limit this stuff. So they I've seen someone and it's all slurpy and shit, like they were like fucking using a spoon and like, how the fuck did you get that in? But like, but
They're in
yes.
Tupperware.
But yes, people have done that, but we can just limit it to actual logical things instead of illogical shit that I've seen people fucking do. But anyway, go.
So, hot dogs, nachos, practically anything that's sold at a movie theater besides popcorn and drinks.
What is wrong with you?
A lot of things.
There's
Starting...
no joy.
I say they sell Raisinets at the theater, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
Raisinets are the best. Because,
I
like,
don't.
listen to me real quick. Raisinets, you put it inside your popcorn.
The fuck are laser nuts?
Razor nuts.
Raisinets.
Raisinets. I said razor nuts.
Razor necks?
Fucking kid. Dylan, go to the ear doctor.
Raisin nets.
Raisin nets.
Chocolate-covered raisins, you fuck.
Oh, okay. I like
those
chocolate covered raisins.
Okay, those might be better. I thought they were actually like.
Oh wait, no, I don't like
You seriously
chocolate
think that?
covered
Wait,
raisins.
are you saying like they were the worst
I like
thing, but you don't
chocolate-covered
actually know what they
cranberries,
are?
I thought. Well, I
didn't say
thought
they
they
were
were
the worst
actual
thing.
raisins. That's why I said they're the worst thing.
They
yeah,
are raisins.
But they're
Covered in
chocolate.
chocolate.
Yeah, but that's better.
I don't like raisins.
But isn't there a
covered in
difference
chocolate.
between regular raisins and Raisinets?
Regular raisins aren't covered in chocolate.
That's my fucking point.
Okay.
That's why I was confused.
Well,
Why is it called raisin nets?
I don't know. Why are Mike and Ike's called Mike and Ike's? Which, by the way, Mike and Ike's...
Because it
if
was
you-
founded by someone named Mike and Ike.
Thank you. But, like, if you put Mike and Ike's inside your popcorn, that's also good. But,
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That is
Popcorn
ungodly,
is supposed to
Darren. Stop
be...
doing
Popcorn is popcorn. You're not supposed to put anything in it. It's
Yes, you
supposed to
can,
be
but you
fucking
can put a lot
popcorn.
of fucking shit in it. You can put, Skittles in it.
Not
you can
supposed to put butter
Mike and
on it
Ike's.
either. Or a bunch of fucking salt. It's popcorn.
What the
Eat the
fuck is
popcorn
wrong
like
with you?
it is cooked for you. Don't put
Dylan.
extra butter on it because that's disgusting.
Did you live under power lines as a child, Darren?
Dylan.
Darren.
Dylan, maybe?
Dylan's not the one putting fucking fruity candy inside popcorn.
Oh,
It
so,
tastes
so
good.
he's calling you
it's
okay,
sweet
thank God.
and sour. It tastes good.
What are like the
No, it
crunch
doesn't.
balls? What are the
Yes, it
crunch balls?
does.
How is popcorn sour?
Because no, I'm not. That's not sour. It's the sweet.
You said
it's
sweet
like,
and sour. Then which
yeah,
one is the
because
sweet?
the Mike and Ike's are the sweet, and I guess the popcorn is the sour because it's like, how is that sour? And it's like it's the salt and everything mixing together. It tastes good. Trust me. And the butter.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Try
Popcorn's
it.
supposed to be eaten alone. You eat popcorn alone, not with. Fuck's sake.
Yes, you eat it alone. You sit in the middle of the.
It's pointless to
yeah,
put butter on popcorn too. It makes it fucking soggy. You can't even get in the entire popcorn. You just put it on the top.
The
Like,
butter
why don't you
keeps
just put
it
it on the
warm,
top?
though.
If you don't put a ton
No, it
of
makes
butter
it
on
soggy.
No.
It
I
makes it
prefer
soggy.
without
Yes, it
butter.
does.
If you
But
put
like-
a lot of butter, it makes it soggy. Yeah.
If you put any, yeah, fuck it.
Dylan, get off your
I don't-
high horse, please.
You're odd
Popcorn's
high
meant to be
horse.
eating as it's fixed.
To answer your question, Darren, I'm not really sure because I had to look at like all the candy. Because there's candy I don't like, but I'm not entirely sure like what it entails in a movie theater.
Eat popcorn like it's meant to be eaten.
Shut the fuck up, Will. What's your?
I'm gonna say probably the most
What's next?
libertarian.
Ketchup is good on popcorn?
I don't personally. For me, I just eat popcorn and drinks. Well, I have popcorn and drinks
You
at
eat
the
drinks?
movies, but I mean, I don't give a fuck what other people eat at the movie. It doesn't affect me any. So
I wish someone would tell Dylan that, but you know.
Apparently it does.
I barely even like popcorn in the movies
Yeah,
because
but
when you're in a
Dylan-
crowded movie theater and people are eating popcorn, they fucking smack. And it's
God
annoying.
forbid they enjoy themselves. I mean, look, there's a. Oh,
Why are
no.
you smacking? It's
But
inappropriate
Dylan,
and it's
a loud
not
thing.
good
Sometimes
manners.
you can't hear them. Like, I mean, shit.
I can hear them.
okay,
I remember one.
Dylan is literally a fascist. Let's move on.
I remember I was seeing the Possession, I think, and then the movie was starting, and then someone was opening their candy, and they opened it, and it spilled out of the bag, and I thought that was really fun.
I always wait to the opportune moment. Like, it's just like, what is the loudest this is going to get? When it gets really loud, just rip.
It just
Okay.
explodes out of the bag. Dylan, have you thought of?
Yeah, have you thought about any questions?
No, because I've been arguing with you guys about fucking food and fucking movie theaters.
That's because you are.
No, that's because you guys are capitalist pigs. That's
Then
why.
pick one off the list. Goddamn.
I will say again, do not fucking bring watermelon to a movie theater.
I will say again, don't break anything but popcorn into the movie theater and drinks.
And
say
just
it, and I'll
popcorn.
say
Not
it.
you can't
I'll
even
say it
put
once and for all.
butter or salt on it.
I'll say it once and for all. I'm an
You
American.
can
I'll
put salt
do
on
what
it.
I
You can't put butter on it.
Oh.
I don't care if you put salt on it. It's butter.
Salt makes it better.
And I mean, I don't put more salt on it, but I for sure will never put more butter on it. There was this one time where I went with my cousin, and she put a bunch of butter on the popcorn, and oh my god, no, it's so bad, and it makes the popcorn so soggy. It's disgusting.
like
I
my
don't put
pop-
it on, but I can see what you see. I can see what you said. I just think you need to put
And
like
the
there's a good amount that you could put on where it's better, but not soggy.
At a
I
movie
have
theater,
put spray butter on my popcorn before, and it still makes it soggy.
at the
Spray
movie
butter.
theater I work at, they have this little. We put out actual popcorn salt on the counter for people sometimes because they like that, and some people get it mixed up with cheese. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah, cheese on your popcorn is good, but like when they come,
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Have you never had white cheddar popcorn,
No,
dude?
I don't think.
Do you mean like the cheese, like the salt? It's like salt.
Yeah, but it's actual
Yeah.
salt. Like it's not cheese salt.
Yeah, but it's
People
like
get it mixed
flavor.
up. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's,
Actually, I might have had that
That's good.
popcorn in a bag before with the white cheddar stuff.
yeah,
It's
smart-
not salt either. It's like a powder.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, powder. It's like a salt substance.
yeah. I always like when people come back.
Oh, I've got a question. I've got a really good question.
Okay.
Will, it's a question for you. What is your opinion on The Force Awakens?
No.
I think The Force Awakens is terrible. And if anybody would like to debate me, I will be appearing at Indiana Comic-Con in April. Well, March 30th through April 1st. Come see me and we'll talk about how terrible The Force Awakens is. Next.
breaking man arrested. Oh my god, after killing someone over Force Awakens opinion.
That was my question. There you go.
Who hasn't asked?
Okay.
Miller, have you asked a question?
I have not.
Go.
I'm gonna go with the one off the top of my head. Best theater going, or best theater, or best movie experience.
Force Awakens.
Do you have a reason, Dylan? I want you to elaborate.
Who's that? Oh, why? Because, well, first off, there was a line that went all the way from where you take your tickets. I mean, this is about, this is a really big theater, and you have the lobby or whatever, and the line went all the way from where you get your tickets not where you get your tickets, where you hand your tickets, so that where they tear and they tell you where to go, to where you hand your tickets to the lady, all the way to the back wall, looped around, went back up to where you hand your tickets to the lady, looped around, went to the back wall, all the way to the last door on the other side of the theater and out the door onto the sidewalk. That's one reason. And that was insane because, I mean, I was talking to like Star Wars fans and shit. There was this was just for the IMAX line too. This was just the IMAX line. There was another line on the other side of the theater that was for Big D. And I was talking to everyone, and we were having a lot of fun. And I was with my friend, and they were playing Star Wars music. And then we finally got in the theater, and we got our seats, and I'm sitting by this dude that is cosplaying as Finn, and he's got like this lightsaber, and we got these dudes behind us talking to us about, oh, it's going to be fucking amazing, dude. And then, the lights go out, and like the trailer for Civil War plays, and everyone's cheering, and the trailer for Batman v Superman plays, and everyone's cheering. And then a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and everyone's, getting hyped up and everything. And the fucking Star Wars logo hits, and everyone goes fucking nuts. And it was incredible. Everyone was cheering. When Han Solo came on, everyone was cheering. Everyone was, everyone was cheering, and it was amazing, and everyone was happy and satisfied, and it was the most incredible. It was one of the best days of my life, and the best experience I've ever had in a theater.
Now, wasn't that a great answer?
Yeah. But mine is, mine's 3 years away from Dylan's, or 3 years before Dylan's, and mine's The Avengers, and mine's kind of similar to his, because The Avengers was one of those things where I got the entire most of my family together, and my mom, she doesn't hate comic book movies. It's not her thing. But I convinced her to go with me. And now The Avengers is the first movie. It was the first movie in years that I've heard people applaud during, applaud after, applaud before. It was the first movie I have ever seen actually, like, the theater. They had a thing on the theater window where it's just like, this is sold out, this is sold out, this is sold out. My mom finally got the tickets, and the lady told her, like, straight up, she was just like, because we didn't go to a reserved seat theater, she was just like, you have to be back here in like 10 minutes. If you want seats, you have to be back here in 10 minutes. So we got the tickets, went back, got something to eat, came back, and we watched this movie. And The Avengers was the first movie where I really felt like I wasn't the only nerd in the audience. And that was really good. Like, people are like in the back. It's completely full. We were sitting in the second row, but it was still we still got a good look at it. We were in the second row, and like, the entire theater is full. There's people behind us cheering for Thor. There's people behind us cheering for Captain America. When the 360 shot happened, everybody lost their fucking shit. When the Loki sequence happened, when Hulk smashed Loki, like, you couldn't even hear. It took me a while to actually find out what Hulk said, because we were all dying laughing. It was just such a great experience, and it was just like, and it was nice, we went out for pizza, and it was nice actually getting to talk to my mom about like what happened to Agent Coulson. We talked about Captain America. I got to like when Thanos showed up at the end, and I just remember like screaming, like just yelling in such excitement, explaining to my mom, and she was just smiling because she was just like, oh, this is what Darren likes, and just yelling to my mom like, this is what this means, and then like he's gonna get the Infinity Gauntlet, and then this is gonna happen, and then this is, so it was great. That was just like that is definitely my favorite theater experience, because it was just nice not feeling like the only nerd in the room. So that was fun.
The other one was Rogue One, because the theater wasn't very excited throughout.
You don't get two answers, Dylan.
The Darth Vader scene came, and everyone lost their fucking shit. I teared up. It was so beautiful. And me and my friend are looking at each other in shock. It was amazing.
That was fun to watch.
And it was in IMAX, too. And I was just like, oh, Jesus
Yeah, that's
Christ.
one of those scenes. I think that's one of those scenes where you will never forget I don't think you'll ever forget your reaction to that Darth Vader scene. You're just like, oh.
It was just when the lightsaber lit up, I was like, holy fucking shit.
I guess I was like the only one who was like, it's cool.
Like, me and my friend were talking about rumors or whatever before the movie, and my friend was like, yeah, I remember that rumor that they cut the scene where Darth Vader just completely slaughters a bunch of rebels, and I was like, oh man, that fucking sucks. And then we saw that, and it was like, holy fuck.
Help us. That was great.
Okay, you guys can talk now. Will and Miller, whoever.
You want to go first, Will, or?
Yeah, I'll go first. Mine is a little bit different. Just because, like, my best movie-going experience is to a movie that wasn't all that good.
Is it Batman and Robin?
That is not Batman and Robin. But my best movie-going experience was Superman Returns. Because, well, first of all, this was the last time a Superman movie was out in theaters, the last time they made a Superman movie, I was 7. Okay? And so I didn't go see it in the theaters. It was Superman 4. I remember watching it like on TV or something. So this was the first time I ever got to see a Superman movie in a movie theater. And, Superman's my favorite superhero. I had just become a father for the first time in April, and this movie came out in June. So my son, whose name is Kal-El, he had just been born, and we brought him. That was his first movie that he ever saw in the theater, and he was a 3-month-old baby. He slept the whole time, but it was just like the John Williams Superman theme, and then the credits, the Richard Donner opening credits, and then holding my son in my arms, and oh my goodness, it was just, I lived in denial of how terrible that movie was for a couple of years.
Movie's not
just
terrible.
It's not terrible. I don't think
it is. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not good. It's not terrible.
Yeah, conversation for later, but I don't think it's terrible either.
It was just like everything about that was just magical, and it was honestly, it was probably not just my best movie going experience, but honestly, it's probably my best day.
Oh, that's sweet.
And we drove to Cincinnati because I don't know if you guys remember this, but Superman Returns was one of the first movies, not the first 3D movies, because 3D's been around since the 30s or something. But it the modern real D 3D movies, and it was I saw it in IMAX, and it was IMAX 3D, but only certain scenes were in 3D. So you had to keep putting on your glasses and taking them off because the whole movie wasn't in 3D. But the whole experience was great.
Yeah. Oh, Dylan Miller, follow that up.
Okay, mine's similar to Will in that the movie wasn't very good.
Is it The Last Airbender?
No, I thought it was The Last Airbender, but I think I think my experience with the last Twilight movie beats it. Because holy fucking shit, was that incredible. Because the climax of that movie happens. And you're like, okay, not a ton has really happened in this movie. And then shit just hits the fan because they start changing stuff from the book. And like as soon as like the first big change kicked in, the whole theater erupted. It was like an earthquake had just occurred. And because I was just like, I knew the outcome of the book, and I'm like, okay, this is going to go a certain way, and then it did not go that certain way. And then more stuff like what had just happened, happened, and just like the screaming kept ensuing. And I was just like, I don't know what this theater's going to do, because like, and how they're going to like, react to this stuff keeps happening, but then they threw in another twist, which is kind of like have your cake and eat it too moment, but it was still, I'm trying to like dance around spoilers for anyone that cares.
Oh my god.
But,
no one cares.
Not here, but I mean if they listen to it, that's what I mean. I know you guys don't care. But
it's been a while.
Okay, fine, I'll get into it.
Han Solo dies.
Oh.
Superman dies.
What?
Don't just actually spoil something for Tim.
What? No, I said Superman dies. You've seen Batman v fucking Superman, right, Darren?
I thought you legitimately...
I've been waiting to finish it till next week when Justice League comes out. Wait, holy shit, Justice League comes out next week. But
I thought one was
10 days.
Something. But okay, I'll get into more specifics about it. But the Carlisle, who is the father of the Cullen family, yeah, he goes into a fight with like the Ted Volturi. This makes no sense to anyone who hasn't seen the movies. But
the head vampire.
Yeah, they go into a fight, and I was like, okay, obviously no one's going to die because no one died in the book. And then the Michael Sheen, who plays the head Volturi vampire, they clash, and then you see Carlisle's body land, and you see Michael Sheen stand up with Carlisle's head, and like everyone just was like, no! It was like they just had a loved one murdered right in front of them. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I was like, okay, it's worth going to this movie at 10 o'clock on Thursday it opened. And then Jasper died, who was another big character, and then Edward like almost falls into this ravine. Mm-hmm. So he almost dies, and the theater really lost it. And then it turns out it was all this premonition by this character who could see the future, letting Michael Sheen know what would happen if they did battle. So that's what I said about have your cake and eat it too moment. But still, like I didn't think it really mattered because it's like, okay, have your happy ending, but at least you added some excitement to a ending that didn't have a lot of excitement.
Yeah. I kind of swore it was going to be, but yeah, I've heard you tell that before. Twilight fans were fucking in, huh? I mean, no, you don't need, but like, Twilight fans were insane.
Not as insane as DC fans or DCU fans.
I mean, excitement-wise, like they were like not like bickering or whatever, but like they were all in.
I like the
Twilight. Rotten Tomatoes is biased against Twilight.
Absolutely. I like the Twilight fans. Like they were interested. It never lost them. Like it did the Hunger Games, and definitely Divergent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Hunger Games and Divergent basically were just, trying to copy off that teen book type thing.
Yeah, young adult.
Teen
Hunger
book
Games.
type
and
thing.
It was kind of like Hunger Games was trying to copy off Twilight, and then Divergent copied off Hunger Games, and then it all just died after that. Well, I guess did Maze Runner try to copy off Divergent, or what came? I don't know.
I feel like before. I'm not sure. Maze Runner is technically is middle grade, so technically like it falls under a different genre, but I'm not sure which
it's still that young adult.
Yeah, that's
thing. Though.
That's why I think that's why Harry Potter's kind of a blurred line, because Harry Potter started out as middle grade, but then it grew into young adult because they became adults.
Yeah, but any more questions, or do you guys want to wrap it up?
We could all do another.
What's a movie that you guys? Do you guys know what the term Phantom? Have you guys ever heard of the movie the term Phantom Menace to yourself?
Yes, I call it
denial.
I call it opening night movie syndrome.
Yeah. Okay. So what was that movie for you guys? Because mine was Man of Steel. Kind of speaking off of.
I've done it quite a lot.
Yeah, I've done it quite a lot too. But
what's the worst? It's
mine was definitely Man of Steel, because just
the
going
worst
off of
Suicide Squad, obviously.
Going off of what Will said about Superman Returns, just I was so you guys. I talk a lot of shit about the DC universe. I talk a lot of it. I'm a huge DC fan. Those are some of the first characters I was introduced to growing up, because Justice League Unlimited.
Doesn't matter, because obviously you just don't understand how comic books work, Darren.
But Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Animated Series. I used to jump off my couches wearing a cape because I thought I was Batman when I was a little kid.
Everyone did that.
But I did that as well.
You're not special, Darren.
I did that as well. But
you're totally not special.
Thank you for telling me.
Gene Simmons used to do that. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Thank you for doing that. I'm gonna just cry in a corner after this. But I'm not special. No one's unique. We're all Stardust. But I was just really excited because I just love the DC universe, and I was glad that I was happy because I liked all of Zack Snyder's films going up to this point, except for Dawn of the Dead. I really liked Watchmen.
You liked Sucker Punch?
Oh, not that one. But no, I saw that one after. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Because that was one of those movies, Sucker Punch. I'm trying to kind of get off topic, but Sucker Punch, I just got to say this quickly. I texted somebody after Sucker Punch. I was just like, you ever seen a movie where you had no idea what the fuck was going on? But but I was on board. I was on board with. Shut up. I was on board with Man of Steel up into the release because I liked Zack Snyder. I really wanted to see a Superman with his style, his slow motion, and everything. They didn't do that, but I wanted to see all of that going into it. I love the trailers. The trailers for Man of Steel are still some of the best trailers we have gotten for film yet. Just leading up to all of that, and Christopher Nolan being involved, and later we found out he wasn't really that involved, but all of this stuff leading up to it, and I saw the movie, and my God, I remember getting after the movie. I went to a midnight screening, and unfortunately, the only two midnight screenings I have ever gone to in my life were Dark Knight Rises and Man of Steel.
Man, one really good movie and one decent movie.
Oh yeah, neither of them are. But I went to that, and I remember getting out of the movie, and I was just I just kept telling myself that was good, that was good, that was good, like an insane person. I just kept repeating that to myself, that was good, that was good. Got in the car. Hey, my mom was just hey, Mom, hey, Darren, how was the movie? I was just, it was good, it was good, it was good. Can we go to QT? What's a QT? I got a slushie. got a slushie. It was good. It was good. Turns to my little brother in the backseat. Was that good, Darren? Daniel, yeah, that was good. That's good. Good. All right, good. Go to sleep, wake up the next morning. The first thing I say to myself when I wake up the next morning, I was just that movie was terrible. I hated it. So yeah, that was one of the things where I was just I really Phantom Menaced myself on that one. But how about you guys?
I would say the biggest one for me was Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
Because I waited ever since Spider-Man 2 because I saw that at midnight. And I was just I saw Harry find the Goblin Lair. I'm just holy fucking shit.
Such a great setup for a sequel.
And then I waited that 3 years, and then even though it was pointless waiting for the 2004 to 2005, you didn't really get stuff going until 2006 with the marketing. And I think it showed too much looking back, but it did. The marketing was really great, and they had a lot of they went all in on it, and they really made it look like
it was something.
Yeah. And then I saw it, and I'm oh, yeah. I loved it. Of course I was going to love it, but then I think it took a few years for me to be fuck.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
So, Will?
Wait, what was the question?
Well, it was a
about
movie
fantasizing
you
yourself?
you kind of like you hyped it up so much in your head, and when you saw the movie, like what Will, like Dylan also did a good job at it, like opening weekend syndrome. Like you saw that, like you're just so excited for this thing, and you saw it, and it kind of the hype kind of resonated with you after you saw it, but you slowly realized like that wasn't like what happened with you with Superman Returns. Like you're just like you kind of slowly realized that wasn't as good as you thought it was. Like the
Yeah,
hype
I
is
think
disappointing.
honestly, I think I'd have to say Superman Returns because there was everything that I just described about the actual experience of going to see that movie, and I've seen tons and tons of movies in the theater opening night. I've seen big movies, I've seen event movies, but that movie for some reason was just something special. And I remember after seeing the movie, like all the negative reviews and stuff were coming out, and it was all over like the TV. Like they're talking about it on like Fox News and MSNBC about how fucking terrible this movie is. And I'm like, fuck you, fuck everybody, fuck the world. The movie was awesome. And honestly, it took me like probably a year to really realize that movie was disappointing. But I was just so high on everything, on that it was Superman, and that, I mean,
I know how you feel.
but like it literally took me like probably a year to realize how bad that movie really was. And it's not unwatchable. I'll still watch it. Like that's one of those movies like X-Men Origins Wolverine, where it's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck how bad it is. I want to watch a Superman movie, so I'm going to watch this one.
Yeah. We're going to have that Superman discussion this one day, but yeah, go ahead.
My biggest...
Well, I was going to say, other
me,
than Superman Returns is probably, I don't know. I can't even really think of one. Because really it was like Miller brought up Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 for me, like that was the moment that like I became a film critic in and of myself. Like before I ever wrote a professional or amateur movie review, like I remember seeing Spider-Man 3 and like everybody around me was like, oh, it's so good, it's so great. What fucking movie did you people see?
Yeah, I had
like it's choppy, it's disjointed. It's like reading 3 different comic books that have nothing to do with each other, and then in the 4th issue they all like converge.
Yeah, someone like stapled the pages of each comic book together randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually said that to my comic book dealer because I was talking to him about it, and he was like, "But that's how you read comic books anyway." And I was like, "No, it's not."
Yeah, I think 2007 was a very transformative year for me as well, because that's when I finally realized movies can be bad. Because there was
Transformers also came out.
Transformers. I like the first Transformers. I really love that movie. But yeah, but like Spider-Man 3, and then it's weird that I like this movie now, but Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, I was just like, what the fuck? But there's a few movies that came out, or Rise of the Silver Surfer.
That
was one where I was always like, fuck this movie.
Yeah, Rise of the Silver Surfer, I was just like, this is
Darren,
bad.
I will see your first Transformers, and I'll even raise you Revenge of the Fallen. I didn't think Revenge of the Fallen was that bad, and I still really don't. Like, but that was another movie where people had to point stuff out to me that I didn't notice on my own. Like people were complaining about like Egypt looked like Arizona. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? A desert is a desert. Shut the fuck up. And then like I'd be watching it again. I'd like, this does look like the American Southwest.
I never even thought about it.
No, like all the sand is red instead of yellow. Like it really, when somebody points it out to you, you're like, this is fucking Arizona. There are mesas, and it's like, there are no fucking mesas in Egypt.
Damn, I never even thought about it.
So, Phantom Menacing. We all know the things that have happened before. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
On Suicide Squad?
No, that name was cryptic as fuck.
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck?
It's obvious he was talking about Suicide Squad.
Yes, I'm talking about the masterpiece of American filmmaking known as Suicide Squad. Listen, Suicide Squad is my favorite, like, DC comic book run of all, like, just my favorite DC comic book series of all time. I love the Suicide Squad, and it's basically what kind of, like, really got me into comic books was the Suicide Squad, and I have over half of all the comic books I have are Suicide Squad comic books. And I remember when they announced this movie, I was so fucking excited. I was like, they announced it like a week or two after I had started reading Suicide Squad, and I started reading Suicide Squad, and they announced it. I was like, this is gonna be fucking amazing. And then they announced the cast, and I was like, this is an amazing cast. This movie, oh god! And then the Comic-Con trailer. This movie went into production very fast.
Yeah.
But the Comic-Con trailer leaked, and then they released it, and I was like, this looks incredible. Oh my god. And then the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer, I was like, this is great. I mean, everything. I didn't watch that last trailer, but everything that I saw was amazing. And I was so... My hype for this movie was astronomical. And I went and saw this movie at an early screening. It wasn't really that early. It was a day before the movie came out. It was on a Wednesday, and the movie came out the next day. But, which is already a bad sign, doing early screenings the day before the movie comes out. But, and the review, I remember the reviews came out that morning, that Wednesday morning. And everyone was just like, this movie's total shit. And I just kept trying to justify it. I was like, the movie's going to be amazing. Whatever. I like Man of Steel. I like Batman v Superman. The movie's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. And I watched the movie. I went and saw it with a friend of mine. And the entire time, every single shot of this movie, I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is fucking amazing. And I got out of the movie, and I told my friend, I was like, that was amazing. Oh my god, that was like the best thing ever. And he was like, I didn't really like it. And I was like,
and then
what?
You killed your friend.
and I was like so crushed that he didn't like it. And and then we left or whatever, and I went over to my mom, and
can you believe this guy?
No, I remember
Dylan.
I posted like a real review on Facebook, and Dylan was just like, "Can you believe what the critics are saying?" And I was even like, "Yeah, I can."
Yeah, okay. Anyways, my mom was my movie theater is like in a strip mall, and my mom was like at a different store, and I walked down there, and my sister and her, they were looking. I was walking towards them, and they were looking at me, and they like nodded their heads like they were asking, and I put my thumbs up, and then they just kept nodding, and I went over there, and I was like, and they were like, so how was it? Because I mean, they were excited for the movie too, and we were going to go see it again on Tuesday, and I was going to go see it again on Tuesday with them because I only had one screening pass, but. I was like, that was amazing. Like, I told him, I said, I could understand, why people would have problems with Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, but I don't understand why people have problems with this movie.
That was icing on the cake.
And I said, I legitimately could not think of a problem with this movie. I could not think of a problem with it. And I was like, 9 out of 10. No, it's amazing. It is amazing. And I texted. This was when we were just starting this website. We had not even come up with a name yet, I don't think. And I texted, and we had the group chat on Facebook or whatever. And I texted in the chat, and I said, "Fucking amazing. Fuck the critics. 9 out of 10." And I saw this movie 4 times in the theaters. 4 fucking times. Okay. And I wanted to beat my record for 7 times, going to see a movie 7 times. I saw Transformers in the theater 7 times, and I wanted to beat my record.
Transformers in the theater 7
Yes, I did. It was totally worth it, by the way, because that movie's great. Yeah. But anyways, and
wait a minute, were you only like 7 years old when the first Transformers came out?
Yes, I was. I saw it through... Never mind. We'll get... That's a conversation for another day.
I want to know.
We'll talk about that after this. Anyways, Suicide Squad, I saw it 4 times in the theater. Each time I was like, this is fucking amazing, this is fucking amazing, this is fucking amazing, this is fucking amazing. And I never took anything that anyone's criticized about this movie. I never took it seriously. If someone disliked this movie, I could not take their opinion seriously because I love this movie so much. And we did a commentary on it. And it was 3 weeks before the movie came out on Blu-ray. We watched the extended cut. Someone rented it for us on Amazon. We watched the extended cut. We did a commentary on it. It never got uploaded because someone's computer fucked up.
Wait, it never ever got uploaded?
No, it never got uploaded.
It's gone. It's lost forever, which is a shame because, you can actually hear Dylan's heartbreak while we were watching that movie.
Hear all of us lose our fucking sanity during that commentary. That is such a long movie, and it's not even that long.
This is where we watched the extended cut, and this is where my love for this movie was torn apart. And
I still contend that the theatrical cut of Suicide Squad is mediocre. It's not horrible, but that ultimate cut is so bad.
And it's not even much longer. It's not even much. Anyways,
it's like 11 minutes long.
Has more Joker, but it feels like there's less Joker.
And so, basically, throughout this movie, I'm just really... I was discovering more about film criticism and, the aspects of filmmaking. I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, this is not good. This is not good. And Darren and Will and Miller are talking about it, and they're criticizing it, and they're talking about the problems with the movie. And I'm arguing with it. I have no fucking argument, but I'm arguing with them about why this movie is good and why they are incorrect about their problems with this movie. And I'm just trying to convince myself that their criticisms are invalid because this movie is great. And I'm like, and I couldn't. I was just like, after it, I remember I said, that's not as good as I remember it was. And I was like, okay, it's an okay movie. I was like, it's a fun action movie. It's an okay movie. It's not as great as I remember, but it's fun. And I watched it again when it came on Blu-ray, and I was like, this is fucking awful. This is very bad. And I have continued to hate that movie more and more each second of my living self.
What?
But that is... I don't really know. I was trying to think of something smart, but it didn't really work. Anyways, Suicide Squad is the most I have done it. But another time I did it, I didn't really do it with Batman v Superman because it was more like... I didn't really do that with Batman v Superman because I still don't think Batman v Superman is bad, but I more or less just like didn't know as much about film criticism when I saw that movie as I do now, and so I've just become more critical of movies naturally, and as I've written more reviews and stuff, so I think it was more like I just didn't really know, and the more I watched it, the more I discovered what was bad about it. But and then I still think Man of Steel is decent, but I kind of did it with Man of Steel because I was so excited for that movie, and and when I got out of it, I was like, this is God's gift to cinema, like. Oh my God! Because I remember The Dark Knight was my favorite movie. So The Dark Knight's like always been my favorite movie. When I saw Man of Steel was my favorite movie. I was like, this is the best movie ever. What is everyone saying? But eventually I was like, it's really not
DC
that
movies
great.
will
But
get you.
they will. But the movie's still decent. And then the other movie I really did that with was Age of Ultron. I was so excited for Age of Ultron, and I watched it, and everyone in my family hated it except for me. I was like, this movie's great. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. And the next day I was like, that was bad.
I think I'm the only person here who still actually really likes that movie.
I don't know to say that like I fandom menaced on Age of Ultron, but I liked it a lot more the first time I saw it than the second time because my wife and I saw it on opening weekend, and I was like, yeah, this is all right. This is a pretty good Avenger movie. And then we took our kids to the Dollar Theater to see it when it got there, and I'm sitting there through the whole movie going, this is so fucking boring. Like, the second time watching it in a theater, I was just like, this is fucking mind-numbing.
You know what the funny thing is about Age of Ultron? Because like I said, I still really appreciate that movie. I'll still rewatch it every now and then. The first time I saw it, it took the longest time to actually kick in for me. Because, like, I was just like, this is, like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, they just keep doing all this. Because I never felt like I was watching.
So boring.
Not that it was boring. I was just like, where is the Avengers movie? Like, I'm just like, where the fuck is the Avengers movie that I've been waiting for? And then when they got to Seoul in South Korea, I was just like, finally, here we are. They're on a mission, and like, it's fun and cool. Because like the first half was just like, this is so convoluted. They built
the opening sequence is an Avengers.
no, not to me.
Event.
No, when I first saw the movie, like Age of Ultron is a movie that gets better when I watch it every time. I still find my criticisms with it here and there. But, like, when I first saw it, I was just like, this is nonsensical. It's not really connected. It didn't really feel like it was there. I didn't like how they used Baron von Strucker. I was just like, that's really silly.
Killed him off in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, seriously. I was just like, he's a really important character to the comic books. I was like, what the fuck? They built Ultron really fast. They got to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver really fast, and it was like they didn't really develop him that much. But like the second half of the movie, when I first saw, I was like, finally, this is the movie I've been waiting to see for 2 years. But I mean, like the second time I saw it, I was just like, you know, I guess since the anticipation was going, I was just like, I'm more along for the ride. But I still really like that party scene. That party scene.
I hate the party scene. I love the first 5 minutes of that movie. I love the first 5 minutes of the movie. The entire party scene, I was like, this is, oh my God.
I love the party scene. That's why I like when Joss Whedon likes to write superhero movies, because he understands that these are people. They're not just gods. These are just people. And he understands that.
I think it's the dialogue in that scene that I don't like. I think it's the dialogue throughout most of that movie that I don't like.
The only part of that scene I don't like is when Captain America is just like when Black Widow and Hulk are talking at the bar, and then Captain America just pops up this like, that's nice. It's just like, you are creepy as fuck.
Ironically, though.
So I was watching the Age of Ultron the other day, and actually something had hit me, dawned on me that I never like even thought of or crossed my mind before. But like, okay, everybody knows the Stan Lee cameo in that movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee's at the bar with a bunch of old guys. And, Thor says that, Asgardian fucking meat or whatever it is that he has is, it's not for mortal men. And Stan Lee says, yeah, neither was Omaha Beach, hand it over, Blondie. Mm-hmm. It dawned on me, I was like, are these just some random old guys? Or are these Steve's friends? Like, are these people he served with and knew in World War II?
Huh.
Like, that's an interesting, thing to think about. Like, it was something like, I just always thought they were just random old guys, but then I'm like, wait a minute now. Are these people Steve knows from the war?
I kind of wish they actually played up on that. That's actually a good thing to know. Because I always thought it was just like, oh, we want to invite veterans and police officers because, the Avengers actually respect the actual heroes. But I didn't think about that. That's actually, I wish that was something they actually played up on more.
All of Steve's friends just...
Yeah, well, and when you think about it, like, pretty much everybody else at the party is connected to them in some way. Either S.H.I.E.L.D. agents or something.
Yeah. Well, Miller, what were you saying?
Just all of Steve's friends see him, and they're just like, oh, fuck. He's feeling adequate.
Ironically, though, Age of Ultron is one of my least favorite MCU movies, and it has either my first or second favorite scene in the entire MCU. The scene at the end with Ultron and Vision talking. I fucking love that scene.
I don't know where I rank it. I haven't really sat down to rank all the Marvel. I don't know where I would rank it, but I still really like it, man. I like it's a nice movie to rewatch.
So this kind of brings up another question. So everybody's talked about like the movie that they saw and was like way too hyped to think about it critically the first time they saw it. What was the movie that you went in expecting to hate but was pleasantly surprised by?
Ooh, X-Men First.
So like I guess like the reverse.
X-Men First Class. I mean that's one of those ones that always sticks out to me. I man, oh man, I thought that movie was so fucking unnecessary after, because everything else, it was just weird to me, especially, I don't hate X-Men The Last Stand. I think it's a fine action movie. I think it's not as good as X-Men 2. It does not deliver on any of the promises X-Men 2 had, but I think it's a watchable superhero movie. I thought it was fun.
It also came out in a weird kind of time because it was right as the superhero genre was changing.
Yeah.
So it kind of caught itself like trying to stay true to what it had done before, but also trying to evolve the franchise into the way that the genre was evolving.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse feels like a movie out of time because they're still trying to copy off the tropes of early 2000 X-Men movies. It's just like, we've moved past that, guys. You guys got to get in line. But X-Men First Class, I was just like, why are you doing a prequel? You're not even, like, it's not even a proper prequel. Who the fuck are all these guys? Like, you don't actually have Cyclops and Jean Grey. Like, what are you doing? I mean, and that's also a movie I did like a movie binge where I binged a bunch of movies. I actually ran out of the theater to buy some popcorn, and I ran right back in. I made myself look like I was in a big hurry, and they ignored me. And I went back in to see X-Men Apocalypse because I was getting hungry. But, yeah, that movie, I honestly, I thought that movie was going to be so bad. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I really liked how they told a cool prequel story. So, yeah, I mean, that was one of those movies I thought it was just going to fall flat on its face. But, yeah, I really ended up enjoying it. And that's just one of those. I mean, there's a couple others, but that's one that always stands out at me because I thought that movie was going to suck hard.
Yeah, for me, and I don't have quite the enjoyment out of this movie that you got out of First Class because it's not as good of a movie as First Class by any stretch of the imagination. And I've had other movies where like I was skeptical and then ended up liking it, but this movie, I was expecting to hate it. And I was writing for The Blaze at the time, and I was like, yes, Ghostbusters 2016. I already was formulating in my head how I'm going to roast the fuck out of this movie. And don't get me wrong, there are some very dumb jokes in the movie. There's a lot of stuff that falls flat. I think there were some directions that they took in that movie that weren't right. But on the whole, I really enjoyed that movie. And I really, like, if you go back and read my review of Ghostbusters, I was like, I came here prepared to roast the fuck out of this movie, and I'm not going to do it. Because it really isn't that terrible.
I like that movie. I like that movie.
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done or just not done at all. Okay? I think some of the juvenile humor, like, shooting the ghost in the nuts at the end and stuff like that, I think the movie could have done without that because the original Ghostbusters was a lot more sophisticated than that. But all that aside, it really is an enjoyable Ghostbusters movie, and I think Paul Feig and some of the cast members, I think they really dropped the ball in how they promoted that movie. Because I think they turned off a lot of people instead of trying to convince them, no, hey, we're really making an okay movie. Just trust us. Just give it a chance. And they never said give it a chance. They just basically said, fuck you, we don't want you. And then, that's not how you get people to come like your movie. But I was really pleasantly surprised with that movie.
Yeah, and before we go to, I hate doing that sometimes because there are movies where I'm just like I'm formulating like little post or something to say about the movie. Like if it sucks, like might be a certain movie coming out next week that I might be thinking about shit like that. But like, I hate doing that because it's really cynical. But sometimes I end up doing it. But yeah. But what are you guys' Miller and Dylan? What are you guys' movies?
This isn't
I'm now ready to cry.
What?
Huh?
Always Sunny is leaving Netflix, and I want to fucking cry.
Okay. Miller, what's your movie?
Let's stay on topic.
I would say, not the best answer, but I would say it's, Lights Out was a one where I was like, before the reviews came in, I was like, this movie's going to blow. And then the reviews came in, and I was like, oh, wow. And I saw it, I'm like, that was really great.
And that really was. That was one of the best horror movies I had seen in a while.
Lights Out was bad.
2008 was a good year for, 2016 was a really good year for horror movies, yeah.
No, Lights Out was definitely great.
That was great. But Dylan, what was yours?
I expected to hate Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I didn't really hate it that much. I can't really... That's the only one that can really come to mind right now, but... Yeah, I don't really know.
I will say I didn't hate Guardians Volume 2 as much as I thought I was going to.
I didn't expect to love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as much
I was
as
pleasantly
I did.
surprised. I was pleasantly surprised at how little Baby Groot was used, because I honestly, I thought Baby Groot was going to ruin that movie.
Yeah,
So good for James Gunn for not, shoving Baby Groot down our throats.
yeah, I'm surprised how much. But yeah, if does anybody have last call on questions? No, yes, no, maybe. No.
I'm good.
Okay, so yeah, that was our that was our talk on. I don't know what the fuck. What do we call this? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out later.
Roundtable discussion, fireside chat.
Yeah, a round table discussion, fireside chat thing on Till the Last Credit. Hope you guys got to know a little bit about all of us. If you like this video, you know what to do. If you like hearing us talk about movies, hopefully you know what to do. Subscribe. So, yeah, with all that being said, this is Till the Last Credit signing off. And check out all of our other stuff. So, yeah.